So in this section, we're going to still keep converting between degree and radian measure, but these problems might not always look as nice as some of the other ones. So for example, and before we start, remember we want to remember our conversion factor, which is pi radians is equal to 180 degrees. And that's what we're going to use to convert back and forth, just like we did in all the other videos. So our first one here, we're going to convert 26 degrees to radian measure. So 2 radians. And so all we have to do, right, is take that 26 and multiply by our conversion factor. So 26 degrees, we're trying to get radians, so I'm going to put the pi on the top. I have to put 180 degrees on the bottom. And in this case, things don't come out as nicely. And as a matter of fact, I didn't write the rest of this, but the problem actually says round to the nearest hundredth. Because otherwise you just don't get a nice number here. So if you actually multiply that out, when you multiply this out, you don't want to use 3.14 for pi. You want to actually use the pi button on your calculator or the pi button on Alex. And so when you do that and you multiply these out, we end up with 0.4537 ... And remember, we're trying to round to the nearest hundredth, so that's the hundredth position there. So we're talking about 0.45. And in my second example here, we're going to convert 5.3 to degrees. So the thing to notice here, right, is that 5.3 does not have any symbol after it. It doesn't have a little degree symbol. So it's radians, even though it doesn't have a pi in it, right? Every single radian measure does not have to have a pi listed in it. So we're going to take the 5.3 and we're going to multiply it times our conversion factor. We're trying to get to degrees, so it's going to be 180 degrees over pi. And so in this case, again, right, if we multiply this out, we get 954 over pi. So if we were looking degrees, so if you're looking for an exact answer, that's what we would do. But this is another one that says round to the nearest tenth. So we're going to round to the nearest tenth. And so if we put it into our calculator, 954 divided by pi, and again, we're not using 3.14, we're using the actual full value the calculator can have of pi, right? Obviously, pi never stops, but the calculator can use more than 3.14. We would end up with 303.7 degrees.